do I get my partner to communicate? This is a question that we get asked so many times. And usually, but not always, it's usually a woman talking to us about how do I get my husband to talk? And this is an age-old question. And usually takes a little time and a number of things that you need to think about first. The first thing is to understand when you're trying to take something from someone else or make them do something, they will naturally just pull away. And if this goes over a long period of time, the more that you insist, the more that you try and take, the more demanding that you become, the more rock-like they will become. And then, of course, at some point you'll go and complain to your friends about how they never talk or they just occasionally grunt and things like that. And there's no fun in that. And I assure you, in the early days of my relationship with Susie, it was exactly the same. Most men have no idea about how to communicate. And if you look at playgrounds and children are playing in the playgrounds, you'll see all the boys running around playing cops and robbers or shooting things and stuff like that. And then you look at all the young girls and they'll all be talking to each other. So naturally, girls grow up and they're much better communicators than men. In fact, in the relationship, that's typically the gift of the woman to the relationship is good communication. But there's a number of lessons we need to learn. And as I said, the first important one is don't try and take, don't become demanding, and because that won't work for you. And research has shown that typically a man will open up 7 times. But usually, of course, when he finally gets around to opening up, the woman has a long list of complaints about all the things that, she's been trying to get through to him for so long. So as soon as she opens up, she whips out this list of complaints and starts at number 1 and heads for near 150 as fast as she can. And of course, the man just, startled, goes into lockdown, and that's it. So now you have 6 more chances of getting through to him. And after about the 7th one, he'll be the one down the pub saying, I know she's saying something, but I never understand what it is. And with the lost communication in the relationship, then this is a recipe for disaster, because all change, all healing, all transformation starts with communication. Without the communication, you don't even take your first step, really. So the thing about learning how to communicate with someone is to set sometimes when you've got something important to say, set a date, take the time, and don't make it all about you. The thing is to sit there and talk about what's going on for you, how you're feeling, what your experience is, and take responsibility for your emotions. Take your responsibility for what's going on in your life. And then at some point, if you're willing to be totally open and honest without any taking energy, at some point your partner will open up to you. And as they open up to you, then of course the dialogue can start, and you can start, learning about that, which is listening sometimes and talking other times, and getting that balance in there, and really becoming interested in what's going on for them. Because in truth, everything's communicating. And even when someone complains and says, no, they're not communicating, that's not true. They are communicating. By the way they're acting, they are communicating to you. So it's really important to start listening to all those messages, realize that it's going on all the time. But of course, verbal communication is what really helps. The other thing that really helps too, once you start establishing that, is appreciation. Appreciation is essential in a relationship. It's the way to stop the fights, it's the way to create the communication, it's the way to bring about the equality in the relationship. In fact, there's a study that I read some time ago that basically said, leave 2 people in front of me for 15 minutes and let them dialogue, and I'll tell you how long they're going to be married for. And all the researchers did in that 15 minutes was count how many times one partner or the other partner or both of them appreciated the other one. And in that time, if there was no appreciation at all from one partner to the other, then they figured, and they were right, that relationship wasn't going to last very long. So appreciation is essential. Even if the appreciation is, I still appreciate that you're in the house or you're in the same room as me. And that appreciation will break the ice and open the door to you being able to talk about what's really important for you and have them talk about what's really important for them. And once the communication starts, typically that'll be the end of the fighting. Because it's the fighting is what the communication, the lack of communication will bring about. So good luck with that.